from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Sunday, December 22nd, and NFL Sunday Week 16. As we head into the stretch run here, as we try to get our playoff teams together, we're off of a big Saturday of college football action. Yeah, there was some NFL yesterday, and well, I guess there was some good college football. They called them playoff games. 12 teams too many, it feels like, with the start of the college football playoffs. Home teams, favorites, 4-0 straight up against the spread. Not much of a contest with our college football playoff. They got it all wrong. It's screwed up for sure, and no end in sight, at least probably not for next year. We'll have the same format again. I'm sure we'll get an upset somewhere along the line on these home field games next year, but not this year. And maybe that's the case. I mean, form holds true, but boy, you got to think that you'd think Boise State, Arizona State, they probably should have been playing this weekend, as bad as some of the action was. Hope you guys still enjoyed the games. We saw the NFL games as well, with the Ravens clobbering the Steelers, and big day of NBA, NHL. We'll have a couple games as well in the league today, and some college basketball that we'll preview. But first, started off by just talking about the great Rickey Henderson. We were all stunned to find out that Rickey had been sick and passed away just a couple of days from his birthday on Christmas at 65 years old. The greatest leadoff hitter of our time, for sure. The most runs scored, the most stolen bases ever, 10-time All-Star, World Series champion, an MVP, first ballot Hall of Famer. And, well, when he was 39 years old, he stole 66 bases. So Rickey Henderson, this one's for Rickey. I don't know about the, I can't think of any great quotes, Rickey-style quotes, how he would always refer to himself in the third person. But really was a bummer to see that news yesterday about the great Rickey Henderson passing away. All right, NFL action first. The Chiefs dumped the Texans 27-19. Kansas City led by a touchdown at halftime. We saw Xavier Worthy. That's what we want to see from Worthy, with his touchdown reception and nice game there yesterday. And the Chiefs get it done again. They've covered some games here of late. Houston just 8-12 against the spread, last 20, coming off of a win right now. So maybe not their best situation. And we saw that really bummer injury by Tank Dell when his teammate's helmet knocked him in the knee and dislocated that knee. So he's a little bit frail, it seems like, but there was nothing you could do. I guess anybody would have had that, at least some type of injury there on that one. But really going to be bummer not having Tank Dell there in the postseason. Ravens over the Steelers, as we mentioned, 31-17, as Baltimore clinches their playoff berth. Baltimore hadn't really been beating Pittsburgh too often lately, but now the teams are tied for first in the AFC North with the Ravens getting the win yesterday. College football playoffs, we saw yesterday Penn State dump SMU. We had a few decent picks here in the college football playoff. We did have the side and the total here yesterday. We gave out at Penn State here on the show to roll, and they did. And we said it would be an under in the 38-10 win as SMU threw three interceptions early on, setting the tone for Penn State. A couple of pick sixes in there. Penn State led by 4 touchdowns at halftime, and they'll take on Boise State. Penn State, a 10-point favorite. The total's about 51 in that one in the Fiesta Bowl. Texas over Clemson, 38-24. We had Texas here on the show yesterday, laying those big points, even though we might have got there by just a hook. Texas dominated their first 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and the Longhorns led 28-10 at halftime, and they'll advance to take on Arizona State in the next round. Texas will meet ASU in the quarterfinals coming up for the college football playoff, and Texas is a 14-point favorite over ASU. So imagine that, right? This is where you got the formula broken. Yeah, they're committed to making those conference champions, teams that get the bye, but you got your team getting the bye as a 14-point dog in that one. So, and Boise, like I said, a 10-point dog. So that's where your system's broken. Teams that are getting the bye probably shouldn't be, 10-point and 14-point underdogs. I think we all can agree with that. Ohio State crushing Tennessee. We had the premium pick winner on Ohio State last night to roll the balls, and the Buckeyes, same thing, right? Early dominance, it was going to be a rough day. They led 21-0 after the first 3 drives of the game, and Buckeyes outgained the balls 475-250, and Ohio State will advance to play Oregon. So you maybe have the 2 best teams, should we say, meeting in the Rose Bowl. Yeah, Notre Dame looks strong on Friday, but it is kind of interesting there. Now you've got Ohio State, a 1.5-point favorite here. In fact, they're up to 2.5 right now. We're seeing a little bit of movement this morning here as the Buckeyes, a 2.5-point favorite over Oregon, after Oregon already beat them once this season. And the other game, of course, we do have the line on that as well. Georgia, 1.5-point favorite over Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. So get ready as we really get down to it here with the 8 teams remaining in the college football playoff. All right, I couldn't find a winner yesterday with those NFL games, but we did have some winners elsewhere. A couple of winners in the NBA anyway with our premium picks, but the consensus did well. You guys had the Orlando Magic over the Miami Heat in that wild comeback for the Madge, and also the New York Knicks consensus play winner here on the show yesterday. The loser was the total in that college basketball game that prevented us from getting the parlay. I think it's now 0-37 with the Team Steam consensus parlay as we failed on that total yesterday in college basketball. Other than that, I think we won the other 3 plays, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll get back at that today. Hopefully we'll hit it. Just type in anything in the chat, and hopefully we'll get a couple of consensus plays. We can run the contest and try to win finally here, maybe on our NFL card today. We'll preview it. We'll also preview the other games as well. We say hello to everyone coming in the chat who's here to say hello and get it started for us. today. We've got Cash Kane here in this one. Good morning. You open the doors. Truth Teller, hello as well. Who else we got in here saying hello? Thomas Lewis. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Clint Zerligan is here. Zerilgan is here. Thank you, Clint. Appreciate you waiting for me. Twisted is here today as well. Good morning to Twisted. Joe W. Hello. Also, AOD here. Thank you, AOD, for being here today. And Fernando Mendoza. We're underway in soccer action, and I'm seeing here, I think Wolves have just scored a goal here against Leicester today. Also, Man U and Bournemouth. No Rashford here for Man U, I see. Flea Mathis, hello and thank you as always. Thank you. Our Tops is here. Thomas Lewis says, will we have the same amount? We're stuck, I think, with the format for one more year anyway. I guess anything's up for, you could change anything at any time in today's world, I guess. So Ziggy, hello. Thank you for coming in today. We'll get ready and get started here. And Andrew, hello. Doubles, thank you for stopping by. Robert McCormick as well. And Public Enemy, good to see you here as well. Hey, I've got my best plays up already over at the Winnable app. My 4 best plays in the NFL here ready and available for your perusal. You want to subscribe to my plays for just $4 a day, $8 a week, or $20 a month. I've got also my college basketball card already out probably for the day here with our NFL Sunday. Plenty of early action, so I wanted to beat the rush there, and I wouldn't be forcing anything in there with a pretty heavy card early. So send out the card before the show here. So if you want to get my 4 best plays, just 4 in the NFL today. That's all I've got in premium land, believe it or not. As a season, I don't know, I think it's a combination of the season winding down a little bit and what the teams are playing for necessarily, what they're not playing for as far as my picks are concerned. So they're up and loaded right now. Over on the Winnable app, use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off any of the packages, but you can get the $20 package with all my plays for 1 month. Save 20%, get you down to about 50 cents a day. You get some extra content from me here on the Sports Money Network. I'm going to come on here every day, including Christmas. I'll be here. Christmas, New Year's Eve. I'll be here all those days, hopefully giving out some winners. But we do have our best picks over at winnable.com. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% on those. And like I said, already got them kind of loaded up here for the day already in the NFL and college basketball. So I'll also have an NBA card and an NHL card as well here with the action. So appreciate that. We'll just get ready and get into it and start the show because we've got games from today. Dana's here. Elliot's here. Textiles is here as well. Tex was, I think, winning. What were they? Running some Santa Claus races last night here on the show with our companion coverage of the NFL afternoon contest. We had some the guys having a good time, really just holding it down. Great job by Mikey, by Jeff, and Sub in the 3 games there yesterday, or the main game yesterday, the college football as well, though they were there for a couple of them. Overlapping there a little bit, but fun coverage, fireworks galore again with the guys here on the Sports Money Network, and really enjoyed watching them while following the games. All right, a couple of winners yesterday anyways here on the show in the NBA included the Knicks and the Pelicans game under for me, as you guys had the consensus winner. Also, I had the Boston Celtics to crush the Bulls there yesterday, and a premium pick winner on the under. I can't miss, it seems like, with the Celtics. Also, premium pick winner, Clippers and Mavericks game to go under. We said take the Mavericks even without Luka, and they did get it done, and we had Detroit Pistons here on the show last night. We also had the Lakers and the Kings game to go under as a winner. NHL winners included Kings and Predators to go under. Winner on the show yesterday. I also had the Calgary Flames here. I had the Montreal Canadiens over Detroit here on the show. Also, Buffalo and Boston game to go under was a winner. Islanders premium pick winner after Matthews was ruled out. The line went way down, but should have been obvious. And we went ahead and took the Islanders anyways at that reduced price. That's not a loss of value necessarily when you get the injury. Yeah, it wasn't $1.50 or $1.60, but the writing was on the wall once Matthews was out. Wild and Jets. We had the sweep there. Jets here on the show gave out the under as our premium pick winner. We also had the Penguins and the Devils here on the show. Game total under. We gave out the Senators, the road winner yesterday, and the Golden Knights puck line winner here on the show. Overall, though, really just spinning our wheels there for the day. A couple of games over 500 with the premium picks. So, all right. College basketball definitely had some exciting games yesterday. I don't know if there was anything too thrilling to write home about, but we did have some winners also, including Auburn over Purdue. That was the one where we didn't have the total right, I believe, there. We did have that one. We had Auburn as our consensus winner here on the show. Auburn rocked in that one, 87-69 over Purdue. Carolina had the winner for me here on the show, 76-74, as I came in with that one on the show. Also, I had Marquette and Xavier game to go under. It does, 72-70, Marquette with the win. It was UConn against Butler, and UConn was able to get the win, but they did not get the money yesterday. Princeton and Rutgers. Princeton got a 1-point win there late. Miami lost to Mount St. Mary's 78-74 in one of the upsets of the day. All right, let's go ahead and start the coverage here with NFL today. Maybe it's a short card here with some of our weekend action, but let's see who else is strolling in here. I think everybody's ready to roll. All right, let's get started here on the show with the first game. A little bit of different order here, right, with the shift of the matchups a little bit with this change, putting the Browns and the Bengals was originally scheduled as a Sunday night game until several weeks ago, the flex out. So I think this game is first on the board with the Bengals here, a 9-point favorite, and the total is at 46 right now, maybe 46.5. In fact, 9.5, maybe even 10. The momentum is on here. Oh my goodness. Man, are we seeing a 10 here right now at some books this morning? Some of the Vegas books are still hanging out at 9, but maybe they'll wake up and change because I'm showing 9.5 in a lot of spots here right now. Total here up to 46.5 with the Browns and the Bengals. This one already started to move this week when the Browns announced that DTR would be in there at starting quarterback. Well, I don't know if it should even move necessarily without Winston, but we know that Thompson Robinson has limited experience. We've seen, some of him anyway in the preseason a lot, and he's been around a little bit now, it feels like, but nonetheless, you have the Bengals here with their last gasp, it feels like, tonight in this game. And can they hang on here? They really need to win out and need help even to get to the postseason. But if they lose, they're probably going to be done after today. So just a big momentum here with the Bengals, getting plenty of attention from bettors here today. Like I said, up to a 9.5-point favorite. So I don't know if the trends necessarily work out in this game. It's going to be mostly about, can the Bengals avoid a letdown and get this money with their backs to the wall here if they weren't already a 6-8 record overall for the Bengals. They've won their last 2 games right now, but just a 1-5 record at home against the spread for the Bengals this season. So maybe tough to swallow trying to get a double-digit victory here over the Browns, but they should have the advantage, at least personnel-wise. Bengals won and covered the first meeting, 21-14 in Week 5. The Browns outgained Cincinnati in that game by 130 yards, but had a couple of key turnovers. The unders come in 3 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams with a push. And let's see if you guys want to roll in with this one. The Bengals 16-7-1 against the spread, coming in off of a victory. And 4 of their 6 wins have been by double digits. So maybe it's been a disappointing season, but there's still a chance for the Bengals here. Let's see if you guys like this game at all. Can anyone take the Browns here in this one? All right, let's see here. Started off with, and a good one there, Thomas. We didn't talk about that one, but Ohio State smashed Kentucky. I had the Wildcats. I know that here on the show. Ziggy here says go over. Fernando says it's been over week here in the NFL right now. Our Tops is on the over here. And Thomas says, give me any quarterback but Jameis, I think is what he's saying here. And with Thompson Robinson in there. Browns trying to snap a 3-game losing streak themselves in this game to Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Denver. A tough team, certainly. Robert likes the over, but Dana likes the under here in this one. And let's see here. Jermaine says, DTR really doesn't stack up to NFL quarterbacks right now. I could agree with that, but they're just looking to shake things up here at the end, I guess. Robert does lean to Cleveland here. And also, here's Curtis. He likes the over in this one. Thomas says the Browns will get the money here. All right. And Jermaine says if you think the Browns can keep up, he's going to fade that 1-4 spread record. Maybe you meant if you think the Browns can keep up, good luck. I'm fading the 1-4 spread record. Okay, I think I get that. Like I said, Bengals at home, certainly not great, but also Browns haven't been covering anything either. In fact, the Bengals have been the better spread team this season. They're actually 6-4 against the spread as a favorite, just 1-5 against the spread at home, and they have been a dog in some of those a couple of those games. But Cleveland 2-5 against the spread on the road, 4-10 against the spread overall. So they've totally underachieved, but we know that. I'm taking the under here in this game. DTR certainly is going to be hard pressed to get much done, I would think, here. If he is indeed unqualified at this point to take over a football team in Week 16. All right, let's see what else. Ziggy says, though, Browns have owned this series between these two teams, no doubt. Browns have won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these teams. Let me see if I got that right here, actually. Is it 5 out of 6? 4 out of 6, right? Bengals won, as I said, 21-14 the last meeting. Last year, they split those meetings. Bengals won 31-14 at home. Browns won 24-3 at home last year. And the year before that, they both won on their home fields and got covers. So maybe it hasn't been that dominant, Ziggy. But long term, Browns have had the success. So. All right, so let's see here. Philly Eagle Flyer on the Bengals in this one. Fernando's going to lean to the under. And, the Joe says it right there. Brown's going to have a hard time scoring here in this one. So let's see here. Elliott on the Bengals. And Jermaine says, you guys haven't seen DTR's stats. Oh, I had hope for DTR there, but he's only been in a few games this season, but I think he's the lowest rated quarterback here. Been pressed into a little bit of time so far this season. So again, he's probably just played a handful of games in his 2 years in the NFL. And yeah, it was much higher than this, Fernando. But once DTR was ruled in here, we've seen the total also take a bit of a tumble here. It was, I believe, maybe even 49. Texas on the Bengals, Elliott's on the under, and Browns, could they be looking to improve their draft position by losing this one? They got a long way to go, right? Because they're actually, I think, seventh right now in the draft order, even with the tiebreakers. Out of all the 3-11 teams, I believe the Browns actually are the best or worst. I don't know which would be, but you got 5 teams with a 3-11 record: New England, Jacksonville, Carolina, Tennessee, and Cleveland. Cleveland is the best out of those teams. They're seventh in the draft order right now. So yeah, they need to keep losing if they want to improve the draft order, and some of those other teams will need a win or two here down the stretch. Public Enemy likes the over here in this one. And I think that might be it from the chat. We'll get the pick in there. I think Thomas, he was saying bagels are for breakfast. He wasn't picking the Bengals here. I think AOD likes the Bengals to rock here. And Dirty Reg is here. Nice to have Dirty Reg. Says Burrow doesn't run very well anymore, or if he ever did, right? But if he had some knee surgeries. And could Myles Garrett be leaving Cleveland here? I think we're seeing another goal here by Wolves against Leicester to go up 2-0. All right, I think that might be it from the chat. And I'll take the under here for sure as my play with DTR in that lineup. I'm sure the Bengals can roll this one, maybe by double digits, but even with, they're probably not going to the playoffs still. So I don't know if they can get it by 10 exactly or so here, but I'm sure it'll be close. I'll take the total. All right, next up. The Detroit Lions are going to take on the Chicago Bears in NFC North action here today, with the Lions favored in this one by 7 or so here. The total 47.5 here right now. Mostly 7s out there and some 6.5s. Might be able to leave it here at 6.5 in this one, with Detroit on the road going up against the Bears. We'll see. I mean, could the Bears really show up in this game and get the money here in this one? By all accounts, I guess you would think Detroit, obviously, still massive interest in playing for that home field advantage. It's just, can they overcome all these injuries that everyone keeps talking about right now, and that has depleted the Lions from their overall dominant starting team so far this season? The Bears are on a big-time losing streak here right now, trying to shake it. The Lions, remember, they lost to the Bills last time out, 48-42 last week, but still the Lions 5-1 against the spread on the road, 8-4-1 against the spread as a favorite. The Bears are 4-1-1 against the spread at home this season. In fact, they might be 5-1. Some people may have gotten the cover in that push. I ruled it a push. I think that's what I had in that game. So anyways, the Lions, though, here as a road favorite, and this total currently at 47. A lot of interest from handicappers here on the over, and I think I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to end up on the over in this game. Yeah, maybe we've seen some improvement from the Bears offensively, and if the Lions are somewhat depleted, still, they should have their way offensively, I would think, in this game. The Lions have won 11 of their last 12, 8-4-1 spread record over 8-4 in those 12 games, 9-4-1 spread record overall. Detroit has won all the games on the road. As I mentioned, that 5-1 spread record. We know that under Campbell, Detroit has all these positives when it comes to covering the spread, including 7-1 against the spread in division road games with Campbell. So he really hasn't missed on some of these. The Bears are 0-8 in their last 8 games, 2-6 against the spread in those games overall. The Bears are 7-5 as a home dog in their last 12 efforts. But again, a lot of it's been this year doing a good job. The Bears covered the spread against Detroit on Thanksgiving, remember, as a 10-point dog in Detroit, 23-20. Detroit has won 4 out of the last 5 games, but Chicago has covered 4 out of the last 6 meetings here in Chicago against Detroit. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's see what you have in this one. Can anyone consider taking the Bears here against the depleted Lions? It feels like everybody wants to toss Detroit aside with all those injuries, but we know they're still in good position here. Here we go. Let's take a look at Thomas. We'll start it off with the Chicago Bears. Here, Dirty Red says Detroit will cover. Bears team total under here in this one for him. And Elliott says all the money's coming in. Everything's on the Lions here. Public heavy here on the Lions. Ziggy said, I laid the Lions last week when it was 1.5. Oh my God. Is that book still in business? I could have never imagined a line at 1.5. In the Lions in this game. That book, good for you, Ziggy. Please share the book that ever had the Lions as a 1.5 point favorite in this game. I imagine it, minus $1? Maybe it was at minus 250 actually, or something, because that seems preposterous. I could never imagine a situation where the Lions were just a 1.5 point favorite over the Bears. The Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl favorite, pretty much, with a couple other teams, and the Bears are, one of the worst teams in the league. I couldn't imagine. All right, let's see here. Lions to bounce back here after that loss, and Ziggy says it too. Bounce back time. Dana says go over in this one. Bobby Mack's on Detroit and the over here. Ray says, good morning. Take the Bears in the first half. And Ziggy says, I'd lay 65 today in this one. I think he's kidding, but or maybe he meant 6.5 there, though, without the period. But maybe he meant they'll roll by more than a few touchdowns here. Cash Kane says the Bears have had a few good moments at home for sure. And Cash Kane says, take the Bears. Maddie's here today. Nice to have Matt in the chat. And let's see here. Elliott says it's too many injuries. Too many injuries for Detroit. He'll take the Bears here. That's got to be the argument there, right, for taking the Bears, that maybe, just maybe, the injuries still are piling up. But the Bears, what do they have to play for as well here in this one? Bears, they could lose some games, but they're in 9th. Remember, they're 4-10 with that 8-game losing streak. So I don't know how much lower they can move. Again, that's the crazy thing this year. You've got, 9 teams with double-digit losses. So you can see the disparity this season. This is a broken league here right now. It feels like these bottom teams aren't really much of a match, it feels like. Tech says, though, the Bears have their own set of injuries. Let's not get too carried away with all the Lions here. They're still the better team right here by far. So, all right. Oh, I'll take the over in this one with the Lions and the Bears. All right. Jermaine says Lions here. He's taking Lions and over as well. All right. I'm on the over as my play. All right. One team still fighting for the playoffs. One team not here, obviously, with the Cardinals taking on the Panthers in this one. The Cardinals, a road favorite here by 4.5, and the total of 47. I'm starting to see 5. I'm seeing 5.5 at some spots right now. The Cardinals getting some work here, it feels like, in their matchup with the Panthers today. Man, the Cardinals, a rising road favorite here. I'm going to at least make it 5, it feels like, at this point. Like I said, I got a square book here showing 5.5. It is juiced a little bit to the dog, but nonetheless, the Cardinals coming in here still alive at 7-7 at this point, and they should be able to handle this Panthers team here in Carolina today, but still a little bit tough here. Anytime you're on the road, I guess. Cardinals just 2-4 on the road straight up this season, and both those wins were by 1 point. So, yeah, they are playing a subpar team for sure, but the road is a bit of a struggle for the Cardinals here. I say that, but they're still 4-2 against the spread on the road, covering as an underdog in those games. But as a favorite, maybe a little tougher. They're 2-3 as a favorite so far this season for Carolina. They've covered just 3 out of their last 10 games overall, with a four-game losing streak. But they've covered 5 of their last 6 games overall. So Panthers undervalued here right now, even with this poor record. They've been covering spreads despite that poor spread record this year. So I said they've covered just 3 out of their last 10, but I think it's actually 4 out of their last 11. Nonetheless, Carolina's been more competitive here of late. I might have got 1 game wrong there on just glancing down at the log here, but Carolina's definitely been in there. 5 of their last 6 games were decided by 6 points or less, so they're apt to be able to hang in here in this one. But still, the Cardinals in need of victories here to try to battle their way into the West title. At this point, it's still wide open, or up for grabs anyway. I don't know about wide open, but with the Rams at 8-6 here right now, the Falcons, Cardinals 7-7, the Seahawks 8-6. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the Falcons. I meant to say the Niners 6-8 here, still with a sliver of hope in the West. But nonetheless, these teams still have a shot here with the poor records of the division anyway. The Cardinals are live to still win the division title, but they need to keep winning all these games. So Arizona's not the best of road favorites for sure. They've only been road favorites twice over the last 2 years, and they failed in both those opportunities. Cardinals here have gone under in 6 of their last 9 games, but I'm going to be on the over here in this game. The Panthers have allowed their opponent to go over their team total in 9 of the last 9 of the 14 games. The Panthers and Cardinals have gone over in 4 of their last 5 meetings. The Panthers have actually won 4 of those games, but the Cardinals 2-5 straight up in their last 7 visits to Carolina, but this team might be the worst of the recent iterations here leading up to this season with Carolina's poor record this year. So let's see if anybody here can get involved with Carolina possibly in this one. I'm taking the over as my play. I don't know if I can recommend another week of Carolina, but they have been making a few wins here, a few covers for me of late. Let's see what we got with the crew, and we're going to roll here with Ziggy starting it off with the Panthers. Here's Jermaine on the cards here. And Elliott says Cardinals will not be. Cardinals will have Connor rolling over here. Maybe there's a little hope for an upset, but he doesn't think so. He's got the Cards by 10. And Thomas says he'll take Carolina in this one as well. Fernando's on the over. Robert's on the over, and he's got a prop in there. So here's Cardinals on the over. So it looks like a split here pretty much so far. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Let me go back a little bit. I must have missed some Arizona backers. Let me scroll back a little bit here. Sorry about that. Did I start too early on the consensus plays? Let me try it again. Panthers here for Ziggy. That was the first one I saw here. But Jermaine on the Cardinals. Elliott on the Cardinals. That's 2-1. Thomas on the Panthers. That makes it 2-2. And here's over. Oh, maybe Thomas said over is what it was, right? Yes, over. Okay, I gotcha. Thank you, Tom. I knew I could read it better than that. Consensus play here on the over. I'm on the over. Okay, maybe we'll get this one over with the Cardinals and the Panthers. Thank you, you guys. Jermaine says Cardinals 5-0 against the spread out of conference. Unfortunately, they're playing the same conference here today. All right. Oh, wait, no, maybe Arizona's the consensus play. Let me see. It was over here. All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Let me keep going here on some of the pay. Over. Okay, gotcha. Over. I gotcha. It's over. Hey, Mark's Reviews. How you been? Great to see Mark's Reviews here. Sports money is money. Thank you, Justin, for being here today. And Fernando says Luzardo is going to the Phillies here. Just says he saw it here this morning. Guess the Padres won't be getting him. And Robert says, I wish I could back my Panthers today, but I can't. Texas going over here. And Andrew's got an over here as well. Cards for Tex. And I think that's it in the chat. All right, I'll take the over, and that's our consensus play here. Next up, the Eagles will take on the Commanders. And the Eagles are favored, of course, in this one on the road by 3.5, maybe 4 now at some spots. Eagles going up a little bit. And the Eagles are just, what can you say about what the Eagles are doing right now? They almost, remember back of early on, I think they were considering Sirianni on the hot seat. Now he's like a contender for the coach of the year here with some of these guys, and Philly's awesome season here at 12-2. I guess it was really early on that maybe he was on the hot seat there for a week or so, but maybe it was just after a bad performance, because right now Philly on an absolute roll here. Why would anybody be able to get in the way of the Eagles here, even the Commanders? Well, look, the Commanders, they're obviously in pretty strong position here as well to try to make it to the postseason. They do need to win one of these games somewhere. An upset would go a long way in doing that. This is the one that feels like they really, really need here if they want to have a solid shot to get to the postseason. They're going to have another chance in one of these last 3 games, but they've got to win one of these upsets here, it feels like, to get over these other wild card contending teams. So they have won each of their last 2 games right now. Over New Orleans, they didn't cover, but they did beat up on Tennessee. For Philadelphia, they're just on a roll, covering everything in sight. Yeah, they didn't cover against the Carolina Panthers in that road game, and the Panthers are picking up some easy cash, but still the Eagles here, man, it does feel like as long as that defense continues to perform like they are and putting the offense in good position, they will be able to handle it. It feels like here today against the Commanders. Let's see what you guys have in this one. If you guys want to get rolling, I'll give a little preview here anyway with the matchup. Pretty big game, pretty important game for sure with the Eagles on the road here. The Eagles come in 6-1 against the spread and straight up in their true road games this season. The Eagles are just 3-7 against. Let me see here, 3-5 against the, or no, 7-3 against the spread in those 10 straight victories right now. I can read here. So look, Philly doing great because these receivers are just outstanding, right? When you're talking about the pass catchers for Jalen Hurts, he's got a great combo, and that's really making things nice for him this season. And the fact that they've been able to hold 8 of their last 10 opponents under 300 total yards. They've gone under in 5 of their last 6 games, have the Eagles. So they should be able to slow down Washington here, I would think. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. So you're seeing it at 46.5 here in this one. That feels a little bit disrespectful to the Eagles. Now, we know the Commanders have had a pretty exciting offense this year, and that's pretty much what's kind of bolstered them into playoff contention with my man Jaden Daniels here this season. The Commanders come in 9-5. Amazing that they're not. Right now they're on the outside looking in. It feels like for the most part. Now I feel like still with their position they can make it in here. They're actually keyed inside the playoff bubble at this point, but can't afford a loss here. Well, they can't afford a loss, but like I said, a win would take them a long way into assuring their spot in the postseason. So they won those 2 games after losing 3 in a row, which was key because they were spiraling a little bit there. Washington 5-2 against the spread at home so far this season, but they are just 4-8-2. Last 14 as a home underdog dating back to last season. Washington has gone over in 3 straight, but I don't know if that's going to be the case today. I'm taking the Eagles here in this one. They seem like they just cannot be stopped right now, and I'm going to go ahead and take the road favorite here. If we're seeing favorites right now, and it does feel like it, in fact, if you look down the line right now, road favorites in the NFL are actually on fire. And I know that's tough for a lot of folks because home dogs have always been kind of the safety hatch for NFL bettors a little bit. But right now, road dogs are just steaming through these last several weeks at this point, almost unstoppable here at this point. Road favorites. Did I say it right? Road favorites in the NFL right now on fire. Here. Eagles beat Washington 26-18 back in week 11. They were a 4.5-point favorite in that one. They ran all over the Commanders in that game, over 225 yards rushing and outgained them by 170 yards. Eagles have won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams and won 6 of the last 7 here in Washington with a 4-2-1 spread record. The total's gone over in 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two. I'm going to take the Eagles here in this one. Let's take a look here with you guys and see what you got with Ziggy started off, and he's on the Eagles here. Cash Kane says, Hurts to get a TD. You know who Philly Eagle Flyer likes in this one. Art Thompson be willing to take the dog here. Elliott says, Eagles win here, but probably don't cover in this one. Maybe the Commanders sneak in there and a little bit of an under there. And Robert is going under here.
Team play.
And let's see here. Let's see. Thomas will take the Eagles here. Rich says Philly money line and under City. Dirty Red says got to put the Eagles in there as a parlay piece. Thomas Lewis says I've seen enough. I've got the Eagles as a consensus play here in the chat. There's a few Washington backers, it looks like, or maybe there was one. But Art Thompson was on the Commanders. Elliott here is obviously on. That's a Commanders play, I think, or at least his score line favors the dog there. So, all right, Public Enemy said go under in this one as well. All right, I'll take the Eagles here on the show. All right, next up, got another quarterback story here with the Falcons. An 8.5 point favorite against the Giants. It's not even that anymore, right? It's now 9.5 here at this point. The total maybe up to 43 here at a few spots. So continuing to rise here with the Falcons and rookie quarterback Michael Penix making his first start with that BPE today, going up against Drew Lock and the Giants in this one. I mean, why don't they put in Boyle there or somebody, right? If Tommy can't go in this one, but nonetheless, you got a rookie quarterback here for the Falcons, and the Giants have been absolutely miserable too. The Giants have their motivation to lose this game anyway as a franchise. They've lost 9 straight here right now, and they're number 2 currently in the draft order. So you can't go down if you win the game, but the players will still be trying anyway. But is it too many points here in this one with a quarterback totally unproven? That look, I would think if it was strange, right? Because you saw Kirk Cousins with that sheepish post-game interview, but there was no indication maybe that the Falcons were maybe there was speculation, maybe there was fan chat, maybe on X they were talking, but not until the next morning did we get the word that Penix would be in there. Was it a surprise that Penix was named the quarterback for this start here at such a late point in the season? I guess if you're going to take a chance and try to find a spot, maybe it's a spot where, hey, Kirk, take a week off, look at the action, watch it from the sidelines. Because if the Falcons were to make the playoffs, I guess you could still roll with them. I guess if they do make the playoffs, that would mean that Penix has caught fire a little bit or done something. Now, they are favored to win this game. They're sitting on the outside looking in at this point. A win will improve their chances here pretty dramatically, but it still won't put them over 50% to make the postseason. I mean, we need to see what happens with the teams ahead of them today, but does feel like at this point, with this Falcons lineup, they should be able to rule the roost with the run game here and just take it down. But can they win this one by nearly double digits against the G-men, who probably aren't going to be very interested in this one? Giants 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 games, 2-4 against the spread on the road. They've allowed their opponent to go over their team total in 7 of their last 8 games, but the Falcons are just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, and we'll see what they can do offensively with Penix here in this one. This series has gone under in 6 straight games, semi-frequent opponents here for sure. I'm going under in this one with this quarterback matchup. We'll see, but I would think Penix will just be trying to find his way a little bit, relying on a little bit of run game. I got to take the under here at 43. And let's see what we have here. Just getting a little bit of a check something here. All right. Here we go. Let's go to the chat and start to look at the plays. Giants and Falcons. Here's Thomas on the under. Fernando says it might go over. Elliott's on the over. R. Thompson is on the over as well. Justin says Penix, and he's our Falcons correspondent. He likes what he sees with Penix to break out here. Look, I think we all want to see this man be successful, it feels like. But, man, if he's this good, why wasn't he in there weeks ago? I mean, Cousins had been struggling here for over a month, and they just now want to make the move. If you got a quarterback that's going to possibly throw here for I think, or maybe Justin's saying, 250 total yards and passing 160, like he'll be an incredible runner here today as well. Rich says, give me the Giants and the over. And Let's see here. Ziggy says he likes the Giants. He thinks rookie quarterbacks, we know it's a frequent storyline that they will struggle a little bit, but doesn't feel like Drew Lock is the answer to anything, too, right? But Ziggy says Giants are better on the road here. I don't know what we can mean by better, but I know what he means. They've been able to cover a few games anyway on the road, a couple of covers this season on the road. All right. And let's see here. He can't see a rookie going to East Rutherford and come out with a win. Giants need a win bad. Well, they do, of course, want to get a win, but can they don't need a win. They're trying to make sure that they get their best shot at a draft pick. I know the players, we know now it's not really something where you say, right, those players on the field, what happens is on these games, we know they're trying, right? I mean, if you're out there and you're like, man, I'm trying to make a football team next year, I got my chance here. It's just that the organization doesn't put the best product, right? They're not making any moves necessarily to improve the team off the field. So, okay, Elliot, you feel better. Thank you. And here with, let's see here. I think this is it. The Philly Eagle Flyer making a few soccer plays in there. And Justin, I hope this is the case, Justin. But if this is the case, then why are we messing? Look, I know Kirk Cousins got all that money, right? But if they have a guy, it just felt like to me they weren't willing to commit to Penix. And again, we talked about the story a little bit when we announced that he would be playing, right? Here's a guy who was shut down in the preseason because basically they'd seen enough. They felt comfortable in him as a backup that they didn't need to risk anything in the preseason, I guess, with him. Texas on Atlanta. But if they had this, why were they sitting on him for weeks here waiting for Cousins to try to come out of this slump? Robert's on Atlanta here. Hello to Wine Time as well. And want to say hello to Yulin Cueto in the chat. Nice to have you, Yulin. All right, and Robert here, I think he's liking the soccer action. Okay. I'm taking the under here with the Giants in Atlanta. Titans and the Colts in this one, with the Colts here, a home favorite by 3.5. You know what you're getting here. Certainly when you're getting the Titans and the Colts, it feels like in this matchup, right, with the Titans running game with Pollard. Look, he's expected to be in the game here. We saw the report come in here last night, so it will be good to have Pollard in there. Didn't practice really during the week, but got to expect him to be in there. He's looked so good here down the stretch a little bit when he's been getting involved here with the Titans. So Titans in that running game, I mean, they should be able. The Colts running defense is not good. That's for sure. So you want Pollard in there. And you got Jonathan Taylor here in this one as well. So feels like a good running matchup here to keep that clock ticking throughout the game here, it feels like, for the most part. All right. In this matchup for the Colts, take a look at some of the numbers here and get your plays on the game. But looks like the Titans here at least will start at quarterback with Mason Rudolph here. Let me make sure of the latest here, but Rudolph in there for Tennessee today, getting the start. Tennessee, one of the worst spread records currently in league history. Unless they can win, I think 2 of the last 3 against the spread, they're going to be right up there as one of the worst spread teams in the history of the league. As long as we've been keeping records here anyway, they're 2-12 against the spread overall. So I don't know, are they going to whip out of it and all of a sudden cover this one here, getting 3.5 points? Maybe that is manageable today. The total here is at 42.5. Tennessee is just 4-10 against the spread their last 14 games as a road underdog. They've been struggling here for sure, right? 6 of their last 7 losses were by double digits or more. So now you're going in to play a Colts team that already won at Tennessee 20-17 as a 2.5-point underdog back in week 6 as Indy outscored the Titans. Remember, 10-0 in the fourth quarter. Colts have won and covered the last 3 in this series, and they've covered 4 out of their last 6 trips here, I believe, into or at home against Nashville. So the under has come in 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams, and we know that when Henry was there, it was a running game kind of as well. Colts are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games as a home favorite, including 2-0 this season as a home favorite. So they've played a lot of close games here, certainly, but they're just 1 let's see here. Colts are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Is that right? Yeah, they failed against Denver, beat the Patriots, but didn't cover. Failed against the Lions, failed against Buffalo, and they did beat the Jets as a dog. Who doesn't? So I'm going to go ahead and lay it with the Colts here today. I mean, come on. The Titans are one of the worst spread teams in league history right now. So I'll try the Colts with Richardson. Say what you want. He does have some wins. He's a 500 quarterback. That everyone's quick to criticize Richardson. And, yeah, there's things you can be critical about for sure, but he is 7-7 in his career as a starter right now. And I don't know if Mason Rudolph is. Let's see here. Let's go with your plays in the chat. Appreciate not very much on this game, it looks like. Thomas says, give me the Colts in the first half. Super true. Might like the under here in this one. And Ziggy might want to take Taylor here. Tennessee money line for Rich today as they'll get it going. Nasty Nate's ready to get the show started. All right, and that's it. And for you guys, not too thrilled about this one. Not a great matchup, obviously, so I don't blame you here. But I'm taking the Colts in this one. Rams and Jets here with the Rams, a favorite on, pardon me, another road favorite. You look at them here, right? Lions, Cards, Eagles, Rams, Vikings, Niners, that's marginal, but just some of these road teams, they are the better team. Obviously, they're favored, but again, Buccaneers as well, the night game. So a lot of these road favorites here, getting attention. The line continues to move on some of these road favorites as well. The Rams are still mostly a 3-point favorite, and the total 46.5 here in the game against the Jets today. The Rams are 8-6 right now in the spot here at this point, the commanding spot in the NFC West, technically, leading the way here in the NFC West. So they've won 3 in a row. They seem to be clicking again. Talk about as inconsistent as they've been. It kind of has coincided with the health of their offensive stars here. But you got them both back in here, and Demarcus Robinson as well, gives them that added dimension to take some of the pressure off those star receivers. So for the Jets, they continue to be a big failure. They're 1-3 against the spread as an underdog this season, 2-4 against the spread at home. Rams, meanwhile, not necessarily a hugely profitable team this season, but when you're 7-7 and hey, in position here to win these games and get the division title, just got to win here, avoid the upset at the Jets today. So let's see what you want to do here with this one. The Jets come in just 3-8 against the spread. Their last 11 games right now, 9-14 against the spread. Their last 23 as a home underdog. Jets have gone over in 7 of their last 9 games, but This one looks a little high to me being on the road. Yeah, I know the Rams, uh, with that offense, but as a favorite, the Rams are just 1-4. They're 1-4 to the under of this season as a favorite. And I think they can corral the Jets possibly here a little bit. Who couldn't, right? The Rams here uh, covered their last 4 games in a row on the road right now. So that hasn't seemed to bother them too much here as they've won 7 of their last 9 right now after that shaky start, shaky start to the season. They've gone under their team total in 9 of 14 games. So I'm going to take the under in this game with the Rams and the Jets. I think the Rams actually can control the game and keep it under control here. Rams are 10-5-1 against the spread when coming off of a win. See if you guys more interested in this game. It looks like a little bit more interest here with Jermaine saying go over, or Rodgers to go over on his attempts. Thomas likes the Rams on the road. Robert likes the Rams and over. Jermaine commented on that Falcon game back there. Thank you. Fernando says, haven't these Jets bettors figured it out yet this season? They've covered 5 of their 14 games, but doesn't feel like they're doing here much of late. Damon Waring, hello today. Tex likes the under in this one. I'm going to take the under for the Rams and the Jets on Sunday. All right, next up, the Vikings on the road here, a favorite another road favorite here in this one at the Seahawks. And well, the Vikings, we know that they're in. It's just a matter of what spot they'll get with those 3 teams currently at 12-2 right now. All the games do seem important, but the Seahawks, they're on the outside looking in right now, currently slotted 8th in the playoff ladder here right now. So they are 8-6, but still trailing the 8-6 Rams on the tiebreaker. So still very important here with the Seahawks at home up against the Vikings in this one. Take a look at some of the numbers. Look, the Vikings, we know they're unbelievable, and it seems like put any kind of assignment in front of them and they pass with flying colors right now on this current winning streak that the Vikings are on right now, including the win last week against the Bears, crushed on the road. They beat up Atlanta. They're covering games, not just winning, but getting the money each time, it feels like out here right now. For the Vikings, they are 5-2 against the spread on the road here this season. Some people might have a 4-3 there, but it's still relatively close. Doesn't matter. They're 9-4-1 against the spread overall for the most part, and they're terrific as a road favorite with O'Connell, 9-2-2 against the spread with O'Connell as coach. For the Seahawks, they are 4-1 since the bye week, but they finally did taste defeat last week against the Packers. They were pretty much never in that one, it felt like, but the defense has been strong for Seattle here. So you got Seattle with that resurgent defense against the Vikings with that, I don't know, underrated defense. Everyone's been talking this season about how good they've looked this year defensively with the coaching situation there. So see what you guys want to have in this one. Seahawks have won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams, but this is the first meeting in 3 years. Here's Bournemouth scoring another goal here to lead against Man U on the road 2-0. How about that? All right, Vikings are just 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 trips here to Seattle, and 3 of the last 4 meetings between the 2 teams have gone under. See what you guys have in the chat in this one. I'm on the Seahawks here to stay in this one and make it competitive You can't see this one getting away here necessarily. Seahawks just as desperate. Vikings aren't desperate, but they are in that battle for the number one seed. All right, here we go. We've got a lot of steam in here in basketball. We'll try to rattle them off, but we're going to try to get going here with Rich says Seattle will bounce back today. Texas on the Hawks here as well. Thomas says, give me the under in this game. Jermaine says the Seahawks, they're fading here down the stretch. Sounds like a prediction. They obviously been pretty hot here before last week's game. They come out of the bye just blazing with that defense that kind of has brought them back into the race. And Jermaine says, what about the weather in Seattle today? Is it bad? Well, it's probably Seattle weather is what it feels like. Let me tell you, I will take a peek at it here. With temperatures in the mid to high 40s. It will be possible showers in the late third quarter, early fourth quarter here in this one. So I'm taking the Seahawks here in this one. All right, the Patriots are going to take on the Bills here in this one with the Bills, a 2-touchdown favorite over the Patriots, but not so fast, right? I mean, the Bills actually struggle to get the money usually against the Patriots here, actually. The Bills are 5-4 against the spread in the last 9 meetings, although they have won 7 of 9. But the Patriots, whenever they've come in here, even when times have been tough here of late, they seem to be competitive, maybe overlooking the Patriots have the Bills in some of these matchups. The Bills won 27-21 at home, or I'm sorry, in the first, or let me see here. In last year's meeting between the two teams, again, they'll be facing off here, it feels like, in the next couple of weeks. So before that, the Bills had, the Patriots won at home 29-25 last October. Not this past October, October of 23 of last season. Patriots got the win here at home. So series has gone over in 6 of the last 8 games between these two teams. Buffalo's won 8 of 9, coming in 7-2 against the spread in those 9 games. They've gone over their team total in 12 of 14 games this season. So will the Patriots have any offense here with Drake May? Everybody loves Drake May, but May still just 2-7 with these guys so far. The Patriots have gone 4 straight weeks without a win here. They did get the cover against the Colts, but they haven't been covering over the last 1-3 in the last 4 games against the spread. Still getting 2 touchdowns against a Buffalo team that, like I said, feels like they've kind of overlooked these guys sometimes in the past here of late. So I'm going to grab 2 touchdowns and try the Patriots. They don't have many trends that would say they'd hang in here. I'm just going with that big 2 touchdown spread in this one. I think the Bills will feel like it's an easier game, and I think they're let up on defense a little bit. Look, the defense may be underrated, but maybe the Patriots can get the offense today. That's what I'm kind of shooting for here in this one. The Patriots have actually, gone over their team total in 5 of 13. That's not tremendous, I know, but they've had a few okay performances offensively. 24 points against the Colts, 22 points against the Rams, and of course they beat the Bears. Remember, who doesn't? So I'm gonna take the Patriots here plus 14 points against the Bills. Bills have bigger things to worry about. 5 of the Patriots' losses, I think this is what I meant to say. 5 of their losses were by 14 or more points. 5 of their 11 losses this season were by this margin or higher here. So we'll see if the Bills can get this big number. Let's see what you guys have. Bills have gone over in 9 straight games right now. Some people on that San Francisco game, maybe it was a push, but nonetheless, it was 45 points, and the total was either 45, 44 and a half, or 45 and a half. So, nonetheless, the Bills have gone over in 5 of their 6 home games. They're 8-2 to the over as a favorite. Patriots are 9-5 to the over as an underdog. So, I think the Patriots hang in there with a little bit of surprising offense today and give the Bills a little bit of business here. Let's see what you got.
Final play.
All right, we're going to start it off here with Justin says Bills over in this one on their team total. It looks like there. Ziggy likes the Patriots with me. Rich says go under in this one. And Fernando says I'll try the Bills again. They've been paying the Bills with that 9-5 spread record. Patriots to smash, says Nate. R. Thompson's on the Bills here. Thomas says Josh Allen to get 2 touchdowns, I believe. Cash Kane takes the points in this one. Fernando says Allen to reach the end zone. Ziggy says Bills might be looking past this one. Cash Kane liking Drake May today. Robert is on the Bills here. And Thomas says the Bills will win it. Here is Tex, Buffalo, and under. Fernando says they can beat this team blindfolded. I'll take the Patriots here to cover. All right, the 49, we're into the afternoon, or I think that was already the afternoon action, right? That game was moved to 4:25, and here's afternoon action as well with the 49ers and the Dolphins here in this one. So you do have the obvious storyline a little bit with, Coach McDaniels and his relationship with Shanahan, and you got to figure that, Shanahan knows exactly what Coach Logic is doing out there, it feels like. But still, the Niners have their own set of problems coming into this game as they're hanging on by a thread in the postseason right now. They'd pretty much need to win them all here, it feels like, at this point in order to make the postseason. But the Dolphins haven't been great either, just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games, or 2-5 against the spread at home. But the Niners are 1-5 against the spread on the road. So Niners have lost 4 of their last 5, not covering any numbers, and not necessarily getting the offense that they need from Brock Purdy for sure. But, well, he still sure was nice enough to buy all those linemen, those nice trucks here this week. I wonder how much that cost him in the end. Dolphins come in here 6-8, but they've won 3 straight games at home, and they've scored points since Tua's been back at home. 34, and 32. 32 against the Jets, 34 against the Pats, 34 against the Raiders. Now we know there's at least a little bit of difference there. The Niners, though, you might throw them in the, kind of the mediocre lot here at this point. Kind of like, I don't know about as bad as those teams, but nonetheless, I think the Dolphins can score some points here against the Niners. We might get more of a shootout. The total here, just 44.5 here in this one, and it certainly was, a lot higher. It feels like earlier in the week, because this one's kind of continued to drop down here at this point. Now, yes, I think some of that comes with the injury news in this game. The Niners basically down to their 4th or 5th running back, it feels like, here at this point. Now that Guerrero is also out of this game, the Niners are having to dip down here, and maybe it won't be about the running game, but the Niners are down here to Patrick Taylor Jr. at this point. But that's okay. It really is kind of a system back, even though you think of McCaffrey as great. He's great in the system. He's great normally, but remember, Guerrero, all these guys that have come in, right? Mason, Guerrero, they've all looked pretty good. they've looked better than they probably their career trajectory has indicated they would be, right? Who knew about, well, we knew a little bit about Mason. We knew a little bit about Garindo, but they seem to excel. So why wouldn't Patrick Taylor come in here and do a pretty, good job here in his first extensive action in this one, whatever they choose to do offensively? Because I would think that Jennings continues to look very, very sharp for the Niners, but I still think the Dolphins come in here and do some damage offensively and are able to keep up here and stay in this one. I'm going to take them to get the win here, actually, and take the Dolphins. Yes, I know that goes against the premise of what I was saying about, Shanahan and his staff will have a little bit of a bead maybe on McDaniels here, but do they have the right personnel at this point? This is not a Niner Super Bowl contending team at this point. And don't forget, both teams here, a loss and you're done, a win and, well, the Niners are probably still done, but they will increase their chances a little bit. The loser goes home for sure. They might already be out, both these teams here, of the playoffs. But both teams 6-8 coming in, so got to win to stay alive here with these two. Here we go with a few here. Start with Robert going with the Dolphins with me, but Thomas likes San Francisco here. And Rich Stubbs liking Miami here. Our Tomps is on Miami. He says, we're done. We got it. HNTD here for Rich Stubbs. Ziggy's on the Dolphins here. Well, it seems like the chat's a little bit on the Dolphins with me, so I feel pretty good about that. I think a lot of people still want to hang with the Niners a little bit, and look, this might actually be an underrated game a little bit. Fernando liking the Niners for sure. Okay, let's keep it going here right now. A few more games here. The Jaguars and the Raiders in this one. The moves on the Raiders, I guess the odds makers aren't reading the room. It feels like in this one, right? I get it. The Raiders are at home. I don't know what else I could say positively about the Raiders here at this point. Why would they win? I mean, other than the fact that maybe the players here they're playing for their jobs, playing for, trying to make it on the team next year, whatever. But look, Raiders have their own issues with their best defensive player now out of the lineup here. Ritter's in there at quarterback. You do have, like I said about Mac Jones, he's looked better in Jacksonville. He's looked better, and that's about all I can say. I don't even know if I can say it with authority or confidently, but he looks more comfortable. This may be the Mac Jones game of his career here. I know he had a couple of performances in New England where just for a brief moment we were saying maybe, just maybe, but really, this might be the best spot for Mac Jones here, it feels like, in this game. I mean, the man has been behind. He's won 19 NFL games in his career, so I don't think you can say the same for Desmond Ridder. In fact, O'Connell got the go-ahead. Let me check that. O'Connell got the go-ahead, I believe, on the injury report, but I still think Ridder is listed in here as the starter at this point. Let's see here. O'Connell probable. Ritter's been taking the majority of the snaps. We might not know at this point. I don't think I can confidently even say at this point that Ridder is the starter, because that news kind of was just breaking within the last day or two that O'Connell was going to be able to make this game. Nonetheless, I don't know if the Raiders want, or they're a 2.5-point favorite, maybe because O'Connell could be in there. But again, you look at the top of the draft order, the Raiders are on top of the Giants, right? They're going to get the number one pick unless they blow it and win the game here. So I'm not saying there's any conspiracy theories like that. Those players are trying, but the Raiders have lost 10 straight games, the longest losing streak here in the league right now. So really, they're going to be no matter what, I'm taking the points probably in this one, but I'm going to take the over as my play here on the show. I got some premiums. Maybe I just gave one away. I only got 4 plays today, and I usually like to take some teams that have some motivation or have some wherewithal to make the playoffs. But again, I'm fading the Raiders here. They're playing like the team is in on it, and they want to make sure they get that first draft pick with Sanders here. So Jacksonville is 7-3 against the spread as an underdog this season, 4-2 against the spread on the road. The Raiders did not fail, or they did fail in their only opportunity as a favorite this season. So I'm taking the over, though, as my play here on the show. Both teams are 8-6 to the over so far this season, and I think the defenses are a little bit suspect right now anyway, without Crosby in there at this point. Feels like an ugly game, but they may be able to get loose here a little bit. Vegas has no offense to speak of, that's for sure, but maybe against Jacksonville, and they are at home, they can get something going. They've scored here, 39, averaging 13 points basically in the last 3 weeks and 16 points over the last 5 weeks. So it hasn't been great. So if it is O'Connell here, he's 0-4 as a starter so far this season. Like I said, Mac Jones has a few wins for sure. So O'Connell may end up the starter here. Let's see if you guys can correct me on it, but Cash Kane says you got to roll with Vegas in this one. They don't want Shedeur Sanders. They'll let the Giants get in on Sanders here, maybe. All right. Justin here says Jaguars game to go over. I'm with him. And right, I think he's saying, look, what could go wrong in this game, right? That was my trepidation about making a premium pick here in this game, is that, you want teams that are playing consistently, in form here a little bit. I'm fading the Raiders. I think they're doing what it takes to get that draft pick as an organization. All right, one more, right, with the night game here with the Bucs, the red hot Bucs taking on the Cowboys here. The Bucs favored here by 3.5, maybe even 4 now. We're seeing the move here to 4 at a lot of spots. Feels like everywhere is 4 except the sharpest books are still hanging on to a 3.5, maybe juiced a little bit here, but nonetheless, the Buccaneers on a roll with their winning streak right now, going up against the Cowboys. And man, the Bucs 5-2 against the spread on the road. The Cowboys 1-6 against the spread at home. Cowboys have gone over in 9 of their 14 games this season. So have the Bucs. And with the Buccaneers offense as sharp as they've been looking here, with Baker playing the best football of his career here right now, it feels like. Buccaneers here. Baker 18-15 record now with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have won those 4 straight games out of the bye, and they've been averaging here over 30 points per game in those starts. So for Dallas, they come in 6-8, and they are still technically alive in the postseason picture, but they'd need to win them all, and they would need help here to do anything. Still, they are 2-6 against the spread their last 8 games as a home underdog, and they are just 1-7 in their last 8 games as home dogs when playing non-division teams. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under, but I'm going to take the over in this one with Baker in there, and we'll see. For Dallas with Cooper Rush in there, it hasn't been great. We know that right now with Dallas's current situation. But one thing we did say about Cooper Rush was he's won games before, right? And you look back at it right now, the Cowboys have won 3 of their last 4 games to keep hope alive. But see what you guys want to do here in this one. They are playing one of the hottest teams in the league for sure right now. But Dallas at home doing pretty well. Let's see here. Thomas says that line moved, but I'll take the Bucks. Justin says, give me Evans over here in this one. Rich says, give me the Bucks and the under. Philly Eagle fly. Let's see here. You guys are watching the soccer. I see Bournemouth here, 3-0 now, huh? Ziggy's on the Bucks. And Thomas says that's a consensus play here. The Bucks. Everyone's liking the Bucks here. We've got 3 consensus plays. Let's move on from the football. Bucks here for Philly Eagle Flyer. Robert's got the over. All right. Enjoy the NFL today. We're going to be missing it in a few, the multi-games here in a few weeks. Let's try to run down some steam here real quick in college basketball. Then we'll continue on a little bit with the other sports, but probably should roll some of these off. We've missed the lines desperately here on these, but let's at least, because part of our college basketball coverage today, get these steam plays out. All right. First up, Iowa State was a 42-point favorite against Morgan State. They took the steam. They're now 43.5 or so against Morgan State. Iowa State, huge favorite over Morgan, and they took even more steam. Rider and North Carolina State. We're seeing a move here to the under in this one with Rider and North Carolina State today. Looks like it was 136 or so, but we're seeing it go even lower here right now. I like this over, this under actually. It was 136. It's now 135. I'm going to go ahead and give that out if I may. I don't have it in our previews here, but I do like this under in the game with Rider going up against North Carolina State. 5 of the last 6 meetings for, NC State, 5 straight non-conference games have gone under this number, and both these teams, I believe, have been producing several unders this season. Give me the under in Rider and NC State. Not part of the previews, but I do like that. Charleston Southern took some steam here just moments ago in their game against Georgia. It was 29. Charleston Southern taking the steam here. It may go all the way down. It's 28 now. Watch out. That one may get even lower here. Might go to 27 here at this point in Rider with Charleston Southern against Georgia. There we go. All right. McNeese and UL Lafayette took some steam here to the under at 141 in the matchup with McNeese and ULL. This one was 142. It's now 140.5, maybe even lower steam here to the under. ULL kind of owns that series, but McNeese is a 10-point favorite since they are much improved this season. But still, you got to think that Lafayette, Louisiana, they've had some success against them for sure. The Washington Capitals took some steam against the LA Kings. They were $1.25. They're $1.45 or higher right now. I will be taking the Capitals as my pick here when we get to the previews. Here, that'll save us some time, I think. Also, Detroit and Wisconsin. We've seen a move here to the under. Wisconsin's been going over all of a sudden this year, but right now, steam to the under here was 148.5 down to 147.5 or so here right now. Also, Alcorn and UAB, big time steam to the under here. I do have some premium plays. Check them out. I talk about the under here, Alcorn and UAB down to 155 or so in this one. I do like check it out over at winnable.com. But Alcorn State last 10 games against non-ranked opponents have all been under this number. I'll try The steam came in on the under. Let me leave it at that. Miami of Ohio took steam against Sacred Heart. Miami of Ohio was a 7.5 point favorite or so, but they're going to be up to 8 or 8.5 here right now, following that move a little while ago while we were in the football preview. Also, Stonehill against New Hampshire. Stonehill took the steam. They were an 8-point favorite. They're up to 9 already, maybe even 9.5 or so, with the Stonehill taking the steam against New Hampshire. Also, Loyola Chicago and Oakland took steam here to the under in this one with Loyola Chicago and Oakland. It was 134 down to 133 here right now. Two teams that have had some unders so far this season. Loyola Chicago and Oakland. Brown and Kansas steam to the under here with the Brown Bears at Lawrence Fieldhouse here. Total was 146. It looks like it's going to go down to 144 or so right now with some reported steam. Brown and Kansas under. Also, Morgan State and Iowa State. We saw steam to the under here. It was 160 or so, but it's down to 159 or lower here. Morgan State and Iowa State steam to the under. One correction here. Brown and Kansas, it was a steam to the over. I'm sorry about that, gang. From 144 to 145. My mistake on that. Hopefully it didn't throw anybody off. All right, we got to get rolling here. I'm going to try to see if we can't get a little bit more steam in here with Sacred Heart and Miami of Ohio steam to the over here in this one at 145.5. It's going to be 146.5 or higher. Sacred Heart and Miami of Ohio. Ottawa Senators took steam in their matchup against Edmonton. They were plus $1.65. They're down to plus $1.50 or so here right now in their matchup with the Oilers as the Senators continue to look good on the road. Seems like a pretty good matchup there today. Binghamton took some steam against Army. It was 5.5. It's down to 4.5 or so right now. Binghamton, the steam already came in on the under in the Binghamton Army game, down to 138 or so, maybe even lower than that, and also on Binghamton. Iona took steam in their matchup against Colgate. It was 5.5. This one's probably going to go down to 4 here right now. Iona took steam against Colgate. Also, Towson, right behind that, took some steam against Bryant. Towson was a 2-point favorite. They're up to 3 or so here right now, I believe. Towson took steam at home against Bryant. All right, hopefully that's it here. Ryder took some steam in their matchup with NC State. Ryder was a 20-point dog. They're down to 19 or so here right now as Ryder took the steam against NC State. William and Mary took steam against Virginia Commonwealth. It was 18.5, probably down to 17.5 or so here right now. The steam had already come in on the over in the William and Mary VCU game, and now it's steamed to William and Mary plus 17.5. Just seconds ago now, some fresh steam here. Loyola Marymount taking steam in that game against North Alabama. Loyola Marymount was a 5-point favorite, probably going up to 6 here right now. Loyola Marymount taking steam against North Alabama. Wisconsin took steam in that matchup we talked about a few moments ago with Detroit. They were a 29-point favorite, 29.5, but they are 30.5 or higher here. Wisconsin took steam against Detroit. Hawaii took steam in their matchup with Charlotte, the late game tonight at the Diamond Head Classic. Hawaii was a 5-point favorite. They're up to 6.5, maybe 7 in their game against Charlotte. Wow, a lot of steam here. Oregon State took some steam in their matchup with College of Charleston there at the Diamond Head Classic. It was Oregon State -6. Looks like it's Oregon State 6.5 or 7 now here on the road. All right. Santa Barbara took steam against Missouri State. It was 2. It's probably 1 here. Maybe even go to a pick 'em here. Santa Barbara took the steam against Missouri State. I'm out of steam here at this point. Let's get going. Well, I got one more, though. Hold on. We talked about McNeese State in their matchup with UL Lafayette. We talked about that steam to the under, but also McNeese got steamed here at it's going to look like 11.5. It was 10. I think it's all the way up to 11.5 or so or more here. McNeese on the road. All right, we're going to have to run through these plays. I got a couple of appearances on some other channels today, but let's run through some plays here real quick. And start it off in the NBA. Let me see if I can catch up on the chat here a little bit. Robert Over that whole time. Oh, Robert Over. All right. Senators money line for Philly Eagle Flyer. Tom Reghard, hello. And there's... All right. Here we go. Let's roll on these games here. Might just give out the plays here a little bit. Rockets and Raptors. I'm on the over here. Make sure we got the current lines up because I think that one is long gone. This one's up to we'll call it 224.5. I'm taking the over here in this one with the Rockets and the Raptors. Man, I'd like to throw out a few tidbits here if I could, but man, we're in a hurry here all of a sudden because of me just rambling pretty much. Let's see here. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over here with these two. Also, Toronto long-term over at home right now. 14 of their last 20 at home. They're not playing very well here with a losing streak right now. The defense has struggled. So 9-6 to the over at home this season. I'm taking the over with the Rockets and the Raptors. Pacers and Kings here, and I'm going to take the Kings to win this one over the Pacers. Indiana's lost 7 straight on the road when coming off of a victory, and the Pacers did win their last game. In fact, they've won 3 in a row right now. They beat Phoenix to start this road trip, 120-111. So I have a bit of a letdown here, I think, in this one. I'd rather take Sacramento here in this matchup. Indiana is looking pretty good here of late, but Sacramento's covered 4 out of the last 6 meetings between these two teams, and laying a little modest price here right now at -2.5. That total at 236.5. Steam came in on the Pacers. Steam came in on the under, but I'm taking the Kings in this one. Finally, it's the Nuggets taking on the Pelicans here in this one. Nuggets a big road favorite, 7.5 up to 9.5 here right now. Pretty big move actually in this one. You got Ingram out.
Final.
You got Ingram still out of this one. Definitely a bit of a factor there with his 22 points per game. But the Nuggets aren't a great cover. We know that. Denver has failed to cover 4 out of the last 5 games here at home against the lowly Pelicans, or on the road against the lowly Pelicans. Pelicans still on this massive losing streak right now, but they did get the money here against Sacramento and San Antonio. Last 3 games, they have gotten clubbed pretty good here. But again, I'm not really apt to trust Denver to win a game by double digits on the road, no matter how good they are. They really haven't been a great cover. We know that this season. Just 4-12-1 as a favorite this season. The Pelicans are 10-19 against the spread. That's not good, but they are 7-7 at home against the spread. So they've been okay covering numbers anyway, even if they aren't winning games. I'll take the Pelicans tonight in the NBA. And our Thompson's going to the game. Cool. Enjoy that one there, down there in New Orleans. All right. That's tough. Our Thompson, she's a Niners fan, but, gets to see her team there maybe once in a while. And all right. Illinois State and Cornell, we're seeing some steam here to the over in the game with
System playing.
Illinois State and Cornell. I'm not sure I'm buying it, actually. We'll try to get to the previews here in just a moment. Steam here was 157 up to 158. Illinois State and Cornell. They've had some overs, but I wasn't sure on that one. All right, let's go hockey picks here real quick. I got to go, gang. Hockey picks here real quick as I got to get out of here. I'll be over at the Jimmy the Bag Pub Hub there at Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel in about 25 minutes, followed by 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. I'll be on the Nuke the House channel talking NFL football, so please join me at those other destinations. Today, Hurricanes and Rangers here in this one. I've got to go under in this one with the Hurricanes and the Rangers here with Kashetkov and Shesterkin. Look, you got to think the Rangers are going to pull off one of these games here and snap this, right? But is it going to be here against the tough Hurricanes in this one? I don't know. But still, Rangers still a 500 team. We know Carolina's been so awesome here, but they are coming off of a loss. I'm going to take the under in this one. Rangers are 2-4 to the under as an underdog this season. Carolina's gone under in 7 of their last 10 games. I'll try the under here it is 6 after all. We call up the lines, make sure it hasn't moved any 5.5s just yet. It is pretty heavily juiced there to the under right now, and I'll take the under with Carolina and the Rangers. Carolina's gone under in 5 straight games. The Rangers have gone under in 5 of their last 6. And we got a few plays here. Our Tom's on the Hurricanes. Philly Eagle Flyer on the Canes as well. Panthers and Lightning here in this one with the Panthers, a road favorite still at this point, I believe. Yes, $1.15 against the Lightning. The total 6.5. The widely maybe 6s are starting to show up here. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game with Florida and Tampa Bay. Florida's won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams, including 4 out of the last 5 here in Tampa. Florida's been hot, but Tampa also has been hot. They've won 6 of their last 7. So hot matchup here in this one with Florida and Tampa today. Feels like the game of the day here at this point. And I'm going to end up on the over in this game as my play. See if I got that number here, 6.5. Like I said, there are starting to show some 6s. I'll leave the 6.5 out there. I kind of wanted to go with a premium at 6, but I'm going to go with the Lightning and the Panthers game to go over here in this one. Right. Let's see here. Florida's been on a little bit of an over streak for sure, right? 5-3-2 to the over in their last 10. And also Tampa Bay 8 straight. Let me get this right. Florida 12-6 to the over on the road. 15-10 to the over as a favorite. I'll take the over in this one. All right, our Thompson's on Tampa. Josh Lower here today. Nice to see you, Josh. And Rich is on the Lightning. I'm going quick here, gang. Kings and Caps. I got to take the Caps in this one now that they got wildly steamed here up to $1.60 or higher here at this point, with the total now down to 5.5 over at maybe minus 115, but pretty big move here, the Capitals, and I'll just take the Capitals in this one. The Kings on this long road trip right now. They've been alternating wins and losses, including a loss to Nashville last time out. We took Nashville, remember? This would be the point where the Kings are supposed to win, but they are up against a bit of a juggernaut this season in Washington. Washington just beat Carolina 3-1, so I'm going to end up here taking the Capitals here at this wild price. Now, the Capitals could have been had for $1.25 or so last night, but they're up to $1.60 or so right now in this one. Our Tom's on the Caps. Philly Eagle Flyer, Caps and under. Next up, the Ducks on the road here against Utah. And the Ducks always hang in this series for sure when they're playing this franchise, if you will. Utah, let's see here. It's been a pretty hot cover streak against the puck line for Anaheim here. Let's see. 5 straight meetings between these Anaheim on the road against this franchise. I guess mostly of them in Arizona, but Anaheim continues to get the puck line in this series matchup with these two teams. So I will try Anaheim here again today on the puck line in this one. Anaheim's covered the puck line in 8 of their last 9 games on the road, period. So they're just hanging in there every time, losing plenty of the games. They're minus $1.35 or so. Utah has won 6 of their last 7, and they've beaten the Ducks 8 of the last 11 meetings when they were the Arizona Coyotes included there. But Utah comes in hot, but I think it's a 1-goal game tonight, and I'll take Anaheim in this one. And let's see here. Next up is the Senators taking on the Oilers here. The Senators took the steam here against Edmonton in this one. Ottawa coming in with a winning streak right now, 5 in a row here. And, well, the price is still pretty reasonable, down to $1 plus $1.50 or so in this one. We know Edmonton is also smoking hot here, and this puck line probably a little bit too high at $1.63. I've got to think that Ottawa can stay in here. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over here in Edmonton, but Edmonton, man, they've had some unders still. This is a good game right now. Both teams kind of trend under this season, but I'm going over in this one with Ottawa and Edmonton.
Final.
It's currently at 6/20 there, I think. 6/15, 6/20. I'll try the over. All right, one more here, I think, with the Kraken taking on the Avalanche. And I'll take the Kraken on the puck line here in this one. Kind of the same thing. Seattle often gets the puck line here against Colorado. Let's see. 8 of the last 9 games, Seattle has covered the puck line on the road. You know they've been the underdog every time. Come on. So they just stay in there, 1-goal game every time, because Colorado has actually won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two. But you just get these 1-goal games every time is what it feels like. Let's see what we got here. 3-2 back in October. Colorado won in Seattle 3-2 last year at Colorado 4-3. So yeah, they've had a couple blowouts too, but when they're here in Colorado, Seattle hangs in there each time. So I'm going to take Seattle here on the puck line. 13 out of the last 16 meetings between these two teams have gone under. So sounds like 3-2. Lock it up. Exact score line. All right. Oilers on the puck line for Rich. Cash Canes on the Kraken, and Philly Eagle Flyer also there with Avs money line, team total over 3, and McCarr to get 2+ points in a same game parlay. I got to go, you guys. We really got to go. Let me punch out these games here with the college basketball real quick. These are just plays here. Illinois State and Cornell. This one, first game up off the board. Told you that steam came in on the over, but I'm not buying it. In fact, I'm going with a double play of this one to start us off because it's the early game standalone. I've got Illinois State plus the points here in this one, plus 6 here right now. The total is 157.5. I'll go under. Give me Illinois State and the under. No trends or anything. We got to go fast. I'm sorry here. Illinois and Missouri. Look, this one got these two teams play a lot of overs, but this one's being played in St. Louis. I think it leads to an under here. I'm going under 156 with Illinois and Missouri. Santa Barbara and Missouri State here in this one. And I've got the over here in this game with Santa Barbara and Missouri State. The steam came in on Santa Barbara. Right now, that spread is down to a pick'em. I don't have time to update the lines here, but I'm going with the over here with Santa Barbara and Missouri State at 137. Out in Hawaii, we've got Oregon State and College of Charleston. We saw that steam come in on Oregon State in this one, up to -7 here in the matchup with College of Charleston. And I will get on that one. I think Oregon State here is my play at -7. St. Louis and Grand Canyon. I've got, let's see here. Widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game. I do have a premium pick in this game, actually, on the total here in this one. So I am going to pivot here, actually, to the side in this one, where I've got Grand Canyon to roll here against St. Louis. Grand Canyon doesn't lose at home. We know that. But I'm going to take them to cover the big number here, win by double digits against St. Louis tonight. Loyola Chicago and Oakland here in this one. The steam came in on the under, but I've got the over here with Loyola Chicago and Oakland. Currently, the line is at 132.5. Wow. All right. Yeah, that steam came in on the under. I'll take the over here with Loyola Chicago and Oakland. North Alabama and Loyola Marymount here. We already talked about that steam that came in there on Loyola Marymount kind of late as we were going through it there. So I don't know if I don't mind that one too much here, especially because I like North Alabama. Give me North Alabama here plus the, is it 6.5 here at this point? What did I say? Yeah, 6.5. Like I said, 6 or 6.5 when that steam came in. I'm going to take North Alabama here. Georgetown and Seton Hall in this one with the steam came in on the under here, but I like the over in this one with Georgetown and Seton Hall at not 13. That'd be too easy. But it is 127.5 or 128, whatever the case may be. It's gone down, and I like the over with Georgetown and Seton Hall. A few more here, if you don't mind, then I'm going to wrap up the show. I got to get out of here, gang. We got Utah State taking on St. Mary's here in this one. And make sure I got this straight here. I've got the under here in this one with Utah State and St. Mary's at 142. Nebraska and Murray State. Steam came in on Nebraska here. I've got the over as my play in this game. Imagine I was going to preview all these games, but I just don't have time. It's up to 145. I like the over. And finally tonight, Charlotte and Hawaii. I've got the under in this one at 137.5. All right, that's it. That's it. Here goes the drawing, gang. Pick up my plays over at winnable.com. We got to get out of here. Here comes the drawing real quick. Let's see who's got it. Our 3-teamer, I believe, or is it a 4-teamer today? Let's go with the draw. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the Mornings Team. Be back tomorrow, 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific. Good luck. Here's the draw. Let's see who's got it today. Andrew, Nuke, Oldie, Doubles, Nasty Nate, Kane, Public Enemy, Thomas Lewis, Bobby Mack, Yulin Cueto's got a chance right here. Thank you, Yulin, for being a viewer here today. You get a chance to win that. Hey, hopefully you've got your PayPal, your Cash App ready to go with me so I can get you paid here. We're 0 for 36. That's going to do it here for the Morning Steam. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific, here with more Morning Steam. Appreciate y'all stopping in. I got to go. Not a fancy ending here for me today, but that's going to do it for the show. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long. Thank you.
Can't escape from the team called the Morning Steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.